at the Irish Roots Cafe down by the Riverwalk, episode number 23, and this is the history of the Irish in America. And we've got another wild crowd tonight. This is one of 3 broadcast series found at www.irishroots.com. I'm Mike O'Loughlin, your host. You can reach me at mike@irishroots.com or mail to me at Box 7575, Kansas City, Missouri 64116, the old-fashioned way. Consider phoning in with your comments to 816-256-3360. Let us know the history of the Irish in your part of the world if you have mind to. And remember, I'm always eager to record another part of our heritage anywhere in the world. And you know, 150 years from now, people may really be interested. We've gathered together a group of scholars, authors, and everyday Irish to paint us a picture of the Irish in America. Among today's topics, we have an interview with Maria Buchholz, and we're going to talk about the lost tribes of the Irish in Savannah, Georgia. Hey, and remember to take a look at the Irish Roots Cafe webpage if you get the chance. Find a book, search for your family tree, search for your particular surname or particular topic, and it'll come up in our brand new search that's going online. We've got 5 or 6, we've got about 13 books online right now, and the rest are coming on, and it's a free search. And it all goes to keep things rolling in the right direction here. And you can surely get there from here by going to irishroots.com. And remember to check the show notes on our blog for this episode while you're there. Remember, we've got 3 free podcasts for you: The Irish in America, that's this one right here, The Irish Families Worldwide, and the Irish Song and Recitation Festival. Well, let's take a look at what's happening at the Irish Roots Cafe this week. Well, our latest Irish Families broadcast have covered everything from the famous Father Flanagan of Boystown and the Flanagan clan in Ireland to Irish DNA research and FamilyTreeDNA.com. We interviewed them for a whole show on the Irish Families broadcast. And on our Irish Song and Recitation broadcast, we finished up with the Irish National Anthems a couple of weeks ago. And last week we added Una Wan to our Chat and Sing. And that one was with Ed Nefsey, and he brought us some history that we're much the better for. So I tell you, it's been a good one. And we're also planning some new videos for Irish Family Research, and who knows, maybe even some Irish song videos. Stay tuned for that. And of course, we've started up the members area on the webpage since our last broadcast here, I believe. And we're going to have to see just what we can make of that, so be sure to dial in, and your comments are welcome. And thanks again to all of our members, because you are responsible for all of our broadcasts. Now, the book of the week is Irish Roots of Margaret Mitchell's Gone with the Wind. And that's by David O'Connell in 1996. Published in Decatur, Georgia, and that fits this episode. The author taught at Georgia State University in Atlanta, and just like Margaret Mitchell, he is a descendant of Civil War veterans. Hey, and the webpage of the week, we're going to make that the Savannah Irish Festival, and that's at www.savannahirish.org. And you go there to see what the festival's like in Savannah. It'll give you an idea of the town, the city, and what it's like. You're sure to enjoy it. And then you got to go on and check out the parade on the web, too. You can just type that in, Savannah Parade, and it'll come up for you. And that reminds me to say thank you to all of our members, because without you, these podcasts would just not be possible. And we do welcome any contributions, either of your knowledge on an interview or your songs, or however you'd like to help. Now I think the time has come to listen in to our interview with Maria Buchholz. And well, I say it's an interview, but it really was an ambush, because Maria had no time to prepare or to think twice. So it's fresh and unedited, and it's just a first taste of who the Irish are in the South and in particular in Savannah. And why is that? Because every day is a holiday at the Irish Roots Cafe. So here we go now. Let's have a chat with Maria and have these folks quiet down in here. Come on, turn off those machines now. Okay, here we go, and we're going to talk to Maria right now. Welcome to the Irish Roots Cafe. We're sitting down talking with Maria Buckholtz. Did I get your name right there, Maria?
Yes, Buckholtz. That's correct.
Buckholtz. We'll be talking today, and it's really a treat because if you want to find out what's going on in a town with the Irish, there's always one person who's done about as much work as anybody else and who is busy all the time, and that's the person that's in charge of Irish dance. And I understand that Savannah has a really active community. Is that so, Maria?
Absolutely so. The main season kicks off actually the middle of February with our Savannah Irish Festival and goes right on straight through St. Patrick's Day. And the dancers, we dance pretty much year long. And whenever anyone wants us to dance, we come and dance, whether it's St. Patrick's Day or not, because we really believe in promoting and preserving the Irish culture here through dance.
Now, what are the what type of activities, other activities outside of St. Patrick's Day do you dance at?
Well, probably the most interesting thing we ever did was dancing for the Olympics here in Savannah in 1996.
Oh.
Savannah hosted the yachting events, and so we were invited to dance for both the opening and closing ceremony, so that was quite an honor for us.
Well, you were on the world stage. That's pretty good.
Absolutely, we were. We had a good time. And it's something that the children who danced then can always say that they did. And it was a very, very special thing for our city as well as the dancers.
Well, now, has anything been passed down to you as far as, say, the history of dance and Irish dance in Savannah? Are there any stories or legends or?
Well, actually, Irish dancing formally started with myself and a good friend of mine, Rita Doherty Davis. There was no established dance school here in Savannah until we founded one in 1990. Even though Savannah's a big Irish city, the only exposure we'd had to it were through the Irish immigrant nuns, and mainly that was just during the St. Patrick's Day season where they would get up and teach us a jig step or two to do for a program, and then that was the end of it till next year when someone else might be chosen to dance.
What counties might those nuns have come from?
Probably Cork, a number of them. I don't, in all honesty, I really don't know, because I guess back then we didn't focus in so much on the counties of Ireland. Just the fact that you were from Ireland was a novelty here in Savannah, because the majority of us are far from first generation removed. Like I myself am 5 generations.
Sure.
We did not have that last influx of immigrants to come to the South, and I think probably because of the job situation. The northern cities, of course, offered more for them. So the great influx of Irish to Savannah came early on with the famine, and actually my family came just before the famine, and then migrated down here in the late 1880s.
And what was the surname for your family?
Kenney, Kenney.
And where did they
come from? And we were from County Clare, Kilrush.
Oh, it's a good county. That's where the old came
beautiful.
from. Yeah, Kilfenora for
and
me.
What's interesting is there's so many dancers and musicians come out of County Clare, so I like to say it was in my blood a long time ago.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Have you been back?
I did. I've only been back once, and I would love to go back again. Once you get a little taste of it, you just want to go back over and over again.
Well, now, going back to the very first, the inception, the creation of your group, so that you had these nuns there that were showing some people some dances, and how did you end up forming the group?
Well, actually, this was many, many years later. My friend Rita moved down from Akron, Ohio, and Savannah being the big Irish city that it is, she thought for sure there would be an Irish dance school here for her children. She had danced up north herself and then moved to the south and found, even though Savannah is a big Irish city, we had no dance school. So she started calling around to the different churches and happened to call the pastor where I go to church, and I was very active in the Irish community. We had two different women's organizations, the Ladies' Ancient Order of Hibernians and the Daughters of Ireland, and I was members of both of them. I was also serving on Savannah Irish Festival Committee at the time, and so Father O'Brien gave her my name. And interestingly enough, I had really never seen formal Irish dancing, but my aunt was a dance teacher here in Savannah, but not Irish dance. And, of course, I loved my Irish heritage, so one of the first questions Rita asked me was, are you interested in starting an Irish dance school in Savannah? And without hesitation, I said, boy, am I, because I figured the combination of dance and Irish, it had to be okay.
Hey, that's
so
right.
That's how we started. And we started out with 12 children, and it just grew and it grew. And today, our school, we probably have about 75 dancers in our school, which is a fairly large school for the South.
Well, it sure is. Now, do you go out and compete in some of the, not the Kayleys, but the feshes?
We do. In fact, we host our own fesh. We will have our third annual Historic Savannah Fesh this coming August 2nd, and it's going to be held at the Civic Center. And the first year we had it, we had about 425 competitors. The second year, last year, we jumped to over 550. So it was very successful in the numbers that we had. We had dancers from all over the United States and Canada.
That's
and
interesting.
even had an Irish family who happened to be visiting the South, and this was the first fesh they'd ever attended in the United States, and they came to Savannah, Georgia.
Boy,
so
that's
we were
nice.
very honored to have them.
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, you mentioned that there were two Irish organizations. You said the Ladies AOH, and what was the other one?
The Daughters of Ireland, and it's a local group, started in 1986, and it was started just by a group of ladies talking, said, because they had all these organizations for the men, but none for the women.
Right.
And at the time, the Ladies AOH had kind of fallen out. They had originally, in the early, 1940s, 50s, maybe even later, my dates escape me, but they were very active as the auxiliary, but they kind of died out, and then years later, they came back. So without having the Ladies AOH, Daughters of Ireland was formed, and it's a large organization. They're about 300 members.
Oh, yeah.
And you do not have to be Irish to join, but they maintain that a certain number in the membership are Irish, and you have to prove your Irish heritage.
Sure. So what else? Now, do you know how long the AOH has been around in Savannah?
I do not. I actually was a former president of the ladies, and so I have to really stop and think. And we came about, I would say, the late 80s. After the Daughters of Ireland was formed, there was always a big men's AOH, but the ladies, just kind of died off. So I'm thinking it was like in 88 or 89 maybe.
And do you know about any personalities or characters that might go back to the 1800s or anything deeper as far as time-wise?
The thing about Savannah, we're not, first generation Irish. And the majority of us are third, fourth, and fifth generation. When you do get some immigrants here, we hold them in awe. we are just so close to our Irish roots and so proud of our heritage that, it's just wonderful to hear someone. We always adopt these people. I mean, you always make sure, not that Savannah's not a warm, friendly city, because it certainly is, but when you get into the Irish community in Savannah, it's just a great, warm feeling, and everybody's going to make them welcome and do their best to help.
Oh, sure.
Help them get settled here.
Now, before the dance classes were started, you had an Irish influence, but what was it like? Was there much activity, or?
There was always the parade. That was always the focus. And really, for a number of years, that was the only activity for the family. Like my father was in the Hibernian Society, and that is the oldest Irish society here in Savannah, and they were formed in 1812.
Oh, 1812.
I think it was 18... Oh, dear.
It's hard. It's hard telling. They've been around.
It
so
is.
long.
You call these dates. I wasn't exactly expecting to have to pull the dates out of my head.
I know that's not fair at all. I do know in Kansas City they're just the oldest group that has survived.
It is the oldest group in Savannah, the Hibernian Society of Savannah, and they were a fabulous organization. But again, it was a men's organization, so there was nothing for the women. But I always remember as a young girl, we would always get up, we'd go to the parade. The schools marched in the parade. The Catholic schools did that then. And then we'd all gather as a family and eat lunch or get together after the parade. But then that night, my father and the men continued on with the Hibernian Society's annual dinner, and they usually would have a speaker. Mainly, we'd probably get one from Ireland or a priest. And
right.
But that, for many, many years, that was all St. Patrick's Day was. And then the Sinn Féin Society of Savannah was formed. And again, these are all these men's organizations. The AOH regrouped. But we found, like with the Hibernian Society and Sinn Féin, they all had a waiting list. Because originally, Sinn Féin only allowed 33 members into it, which was back. Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes, isn't it though?
Yeah.
So my father was also in Sinn Féin, and the Hibernian Society only allowed 125. So as the city grew and people became very much interested in their Irish culture, they found they were very limited in that they had to be on a waiting list in order to join these societies. And with Hibernian Society, the young men had to be 18 before they were placed on the waiting list.
Right.
So you had to wait for quite a while sometimes because, you had to wait for somebody to die. It was a sad but joyous occasion. It was the same, and it was kind of a local joke because you'd watch the newspaper, knowing your name was coming up on the list, and if John McGinty died, and you were going, oh God, poor John McGinty, rest his soul. Well, I think I was right behind him, next on the list. it was really kind of funny, and I can remember my father and my uncles doing that exact same thing.
That is
funny. For the young men, though, in Savannah, they, were getting a little impatient. They didn't want to have to wait all those years because quite often, a man was 45 or 50 years old before they got into the Hibernian Society.
Oh, yeah.
So little by little, other societies were formed, and now we have 13 societies.
Goodness.
So it's really nice because they all are at the front of the parade, and it's just nice to see. It's very, very nice to see that it's grown like this. But we still just have the two women's organizations and
do you remember the names?
And the dancers.
You remember the names of any of the other organizations?
There's the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick.
Right.
Clan the Aaron.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Shenanigans.
That sounds like a fun group.
Oh, they're the wild group. Irish Heritage Society.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's always the parade committee.
Right.
I'm losing count here. We got Sinn Féin, Hibernian.
Well, that gives us a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting. And so 13 societies. Boy, I know in Kansas City there used to be 7, 8, 9, 10 Hibernian divisions. They kept forming new ones, and then it came down to just one, and now we're up to 2 again, or
golly,
in the area. So yeah, it surprised me when you had that limit on membership. I surprised nobody didn't branch out.
Now that was not the AOH though. That's the Hibernian Society.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Now the AOH is open.
Okay.
Their membership is open totally, but
Hibernian Society is a separate group.
The Hibernian Society of Savannah.
Very good. Okay, good. I'm glad I brought that up. Okay.
Yes, me too.
That's interesting.
Don't want to misquote that one.
Boy, that's for sure. What?
We'd have the AOH down on us big time.
That's right.
You know?
Well, what are some of the big surnames there? I know every city has certain names that are connected with the Irish, and I study names and write books on Irish family names all the time.
Oh.
Do certain names come up all the time as part of the Irish?
Loads of Powers. Not too many Kennys. Yeah. Mulligan.
Yeah.
Whalen. Isn't it?
Do you have any old Irish pubs that people have been going to for generations?
Well, actually, we do not. We have Kevin Barry's is our favorite pub here, and it's been around for quite a long time. But we have Murphy's Law, which is another Irish pub. But Kevin Barry's started. It's been around for a long, long time, and it's down on River Street. I don't know if you're familiar with River Street in Savannah.
No, I will be.
Yeah, you will be indeed.
That's right.
But it started down there, and I mean, their doors were always open to us when we were dancing. And Vic Power, he's actually from the north somewhere, New York or New Jersey, I can't remember. He's just been fantastic about promoting the culture. And that's probably Savannah's favorite pub, simply because it's been around the longest. But Murphy's Law has popped up in the last few years, and they're actually, it's owned by local Irish people. Their last name was Coonahan, and they're a nice little place. And then there's Shamrock's Irish Pub down on one of the islands. But really, Kevin Barry's has to be the local favorite, without a doubt.
Well, boy, that's good. What? Coming back to the dancers and the things you do, are all the families Irish that you teach, or all the children that you teach, are they all of Irish heritage, or do you have some?
The majority of them are, but always make it clear that you do not have to be Irish to join. Our purpose is to promote and preserve Irish culture and tradition in Savannah through dance. That means we want everyone to know about Irish culture.
That's the way to do it.
I certainly would never turn anyone away, because we have a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's funny because one of my best friends many years ago when we first started, she said that her daughter wanted to dance. She says, "But I'm not Irish and I'm not Catholic." I said, "That's okay."
That's right.
You know, we've had some Jewish girls dance with us. We've had some Greek children dance with us.
That's great.
I mean, it's really been a lot of fun.
That's adding an American twist to it. That's the way
to do it.
Exactly. That's very good. Well, what are some that World's Fair thing was really neat. Any other particular times that you've danced that you remember?
We danced again a number of years ago for the South Carolina Irish Historical Society, and I think what made that so interesting was we danced in one of the oldest theaters in Charleston. It was absolutely beautiful with wood floors and beautiful lighting, and I remember the children just thought that was excellent to be there. But we also danced for a princess of Denmark.
Oh my.
She was here, you know, the Girl Scouts was founded here in Savannah. I don't know if you know that.
Right.
But she was here promoting a Girl Scout function, and they were doing an international day, And so we were invited to dance for that. That was exciting. And unfortunately, we could not get any pictures with her because it was, like Secret Service people all around.
Sure.
Really, the Olympics just put such a high on the whole city. I mean, just to have so many people here from different countries and to be chosen to do both the opening and closing ceremonies, we just thought that was fabulous.
Wow.
So we do, we go to colleges and schools and
sure.
Most anything people ask us to do, we try and do. We go to nursing homes because we don't like to forget about the old people, and we're all going to be there one day too.
That's sure the same way it happened here too. I remember that. Did anything in particular, just as a last question, anything in particular that's given a boost to the really the recognition of the Irish around there? I know that here there were several things that happened that just sort of all of a sudden it became real popular to promote your Irishness, and it hadn't been that way in the same way before, like when the movie Roots came out.
Exactly.
A lot more people started going back and tracing their family histories.
Yeah.
And
that, in all honesty, is probably about the same thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, with Irish dancing, it was river dance. I mean, we were already dancing. Michael Flatley had come here to Savannah with the Chieftains a year before he did river dance.
Oh.
And my children happened to be able to get up on the stage and dance with the Chieftains at that time, and it was quite an honor. But without a doubt, if there was anything that made a difference, at least to Irish dance, and it was river dance, and it was here in Savannah, we had that impact as well.
Boy, it's sure good to know that you were there before they came, and then you could just plug
exactly.
right into it.
I know. There's a little bit of comfort in that.
That's right. Well, you got to have a few good things happen to you along the way, and that was one of them. Well, Maria, I'm going to be coming down there in April, and I hope to see you. Hope might be able to see the kids dance too. That'd be great. And
well, now when are you coming?
Be the last week of April for the Genealogical Society down there.
Okay.
So it's
it's a beautiful city. I'm a little prejudiced because I was born and raised here, but it is an absolutely beautiful city. I think you'll fall in love with it, and hopefully it may be your first trip, but surely not your last.
I'm sure looking forward to it. Well, this is Mike O'Loughlin signing off from the Irish Roots Cafe, reminding you that every day's a holiday and there's always room for one more.
Absolutely.
All right, that does it.
Well, thank you, Mike.
Hey, thanks.
God bless.
Yeah, I appreciate the time you've given me, and if you run onto anybody that knows history, be sure to think of me. You might pass the name on, and I'll talk to them, too.
Yes, sir, I sure will.
Okay, appreciate it, and good luck with the kids.
Thank you so much. You take care.
Okay, you too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Well,
thanks again to Maria, and remember to send your books, sing your songs, play your tunes, or send your family search to me here at the Irish Roots Cafe by email, by mail to our American address at the Irish Roots Cafe, Box 7575, Kansas City, Missouri 64116. Report on things in your part of the world on my phone recorder at 816-256-3360 or Skype me at Irish Roots Cafe. Can you hear that whistle blowing, folks? That's all. Until next time we meet right here, right where Ireland met America, at the Irish Roots Cafe.